YouTube, it's Tone back with another one for you. So this one here is actually the I think it's the first redemption manual. Might even be the second. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't say it on it, but it's like, so it's one of the first ones, and it goes into a lot of the basics that I think a lot of people should know. And I'm gonna start going over this too as well. It teaches you the fundamental elements necessary to create a affidavit and things like that, uh, and goes into a lot of detail on things like that. A lot of basic things, because I do get a lot of basic questions from people. That shows me that maybe either people don't want to read, or are not, or just maybe at the beginning stages of this, which I didn't even think that would be the case. But I know it's YouTube, and we do grab a lot of new people, so I'm gonna start going over some of this stuff here. But this basically here is gonna be how to reject an offer, essentially. This paper here, I'm gonna make it a quick one. This one here is part of a larger document, so when we get to the bottom, it's probably not gonna make as much sense because it's leading into the next information. So, but I want to focus more on the top part of how to reject an offer from these people, because everything that you get in the mail is gonna be an offer, right? And they're waiting on your response, and if you don't respond to it, you're gonna throw it in your drawer. Then you're gonna become bound by that contract because of your actions. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be something that you actually sign. So, but all these people are third parties, and everything that they send you is an offer. You can counter offer. You know what I mean? So right here, the disclaimer: any information passed along via email, paper copies, or computer diskette is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal, professional, or tax advice. It is the reader's responsibility to study the issues, laws, and decide what to do with this information. Also, all of the information pertains to Texas rules, and these rules may differ from your state or county. From this information is simply a personal preference and personal opinion, so please study the issue and make up your own mind about everything that you choose to do. A lot of this shit here is it's just the real deal. So, number one, answer immediately. Do not put off your paperwork, right? So you usually have 72 hours from when you get something to send a reply. Usually they'll give you a date and things like that too for you to work with, but you can, and you can give them dates too. You know what I mean? So, so number two, never answer a third party, but respond with a rejection of contract offer, telling him and all of his heirs, agents, and assignees that they are third parties and to get out of your commercial affairs. And that's the thing. All these people are just, they're private corporations trying to butt their way into your business, which they have no freaking authority to do so unless you give it to them via contract by either not answering, or that's mainly probably gonna be it. Because if you just sent them something back and asked them to prove that they even have the authority to even be harassing you, I'm pretty sure that'll be the last conversations that you guys have. So number three, always send the rejected offers of contract back to the entity that sent them to you, and then copy anyone else involved. So if you have somebody suing you, right, and they go to the state of, so now you got a courthouse and you got this fucking dude making a claim. Now, one is a third party. So even if you have a deal with somebody, he's going and getting a third party involved, which they may or may not have authority to harass you, but you're better off making them prove that they do, and don't freaking assume that they do, because most likely they don't. So if you get a summons complaint taped to your front door and it doesn't say where it came from, it probably came from the sheriff, reject it and send it back to the sheriff via certified or registered mail. Then copy the court and the other party on the summons, usually a lawyer. If you get it in the mail, make sure you look at the return address. Sometimes a service company sends it to you. It must be rejected and sent back to the service company, and all the parties copy to it. So you'll see all the names on there and addresses, and you want to go ahead and send it back to the person making the complaint initially, and then copy anybody there. So it's going to be the courthouse and the lawyers on there with their address, or if it's a collections agency with the LLC, you want to go ahead and copy everybody on that. So the courthouse is going to get copied on the rejecting offer that you send back to whoever the hell sent it to you. So always remember, they are after subject matter jurisdiction. Number five, the only thing involved in a controversy of the only thing involved in any controversy of court case is about jurisdiction. Number six, subject matter jurisdiction is the same as challenging the court's jurisdiction, but in a nicer way. Instead of telling the judge in the court he doesn't have jurisdiction, you are telling the court that they don't have jurisdiction over the subject matter to hear the case. And a lot of judges freaking agree. And if you bring this up, probably not going to have any problems. I mean, I sat in the courthouse a few times and heard, the judge say, hey, we don't have jurisdiction here. So they're not opposed to it, but unless you bring it up, they're going to assume that you agree to all the facts, even if they're not facts. So this gives them an out, right? And you do want to give them an out. You don't have to be an asshole to these people either. Yeah, they're fucking scam artists, but at least give them an opportunity to rectify the situation. So SMJ is over the living person, and that is why they never have it. They must have first-hand knowledge and be a party to your contract. They never do, and they never are. And that's the thing too. And I mean, I always say that shit on my videos too. These people are just out here barking here, say they have, making all types of outrageous claims, defamation, all types of shit. And they don't even know you. They weren't even there. There's no affidavits involved. You know what I mean? Come on, cut it out. So don't argue the charge, the amount, or anything other than the subject matter jurisdiction, because when you start to argue the issues, you grant subject matter jurisdiction. And that's the thing. You don't want to create controversy. You want to go in there to settle the matter and get these fucking people out of your business, so you don't gotta waste your energy on them. Because that's all they want: money, energy, whatever. It's all the same thing. Attention seeking, fucking attention seeking. Subject matter jurisdiction can only be gained with your permission by consent or assent. Making a plea grants consent. Number 8, everything they do against us in the court is by affidavit, and usually without any notice to us. So you must check the court file daily to see if anyone has placed an affidavit against you, and you must rebut every affidavit with an affidavit. We will be lawful though and give grace and notice with our affidavits. Yeah, you always want to give them time, and serve them properly, the administrative process and things like that. So if you guys need any information on that, the administrative process using notaries and things like that, you can go ahead and email me. The information is free. So if you rebut an affidavit or generate an affidavit, always send it to the person it is against. Copy the court clerk if it is involving a court case. Give them personal notice and a grace period to rebut it. You must include an address for them to send a rebuttal to, either your address or a notary's address. I suspect that the notary is who is supposed to receive the rebuttal. Number 9, what if we are finding out that even though we did an affidavit in court challenging subject matter jurisdiction, that unless you go into a appointed court in time and stand up for the affidavit, the judge will put a default against you. We have added a cease and desist order to the affidavits, which may take care of having to go to court, but this hasn't been established yet. Cease and desist are awesome. You know what I mean? Awesome. Which they obviously serve as an affidavit as well, so they're gonna have to rebut that, which usually what are they gonna say? It really isn't a question. I mean, the people are the government, and everything is commercial, and everything's an offer. So, you have no obligations to entertain these people at all. So I will not use the zip codes as it is for federal jurisdiction only. Creates jurisdiction and sets up a pattern that of a federal citizen. Sample address below. All caps, Jack Rabbit Patriot, non-domestic, care of 123 Lakeview Drive, Dallas, Texas. Upper lowercase, all that. So also only use a stamp because that doesn't create jurisdictional problems, but their stamp machines may. So telling you to put a physical stamp on the letter and things like that if you're going to reject it. So you can take the jurisdiction of all letters that you send, return receipt, request cards, envelopes, etc. by signing your autographs in red ink at the bottom right on both the front and the back sides of the page. And that's the thing too, is like, not, you got, like, you actually have to sign the back of these documents too, because they can try to securitize any of your signatures and shit like that. And so if there's nothing signed on the back, they can just flip it around, sign it on the back, and keep it. That shit is crazy. So you want to make sure that you cover the front and the back, bottom right sides in red ink with your signature. So basically you claim that shit, and there's nothing that they can do about that. So make sure you write it where no one else can sneak a number or a mark past it on the right underneath your autograph, because they can do that too, right? So every time they hand you a piece of paper and they put their little X on it, they're like, oh, okay, here, sign right here, and they put an X on the signature line. That's their signature. Your signature is any mark that you put on there. So now after you sign that, you agree to the whole document, that whatever the hell that they gave you. You see how sneaky these little scumbags are? So with the autograph, with the autograph is used instead of a signature under a living man's name, because a signature is only the sign of someone's name authority. It is not their real name. Did you ever hear anyone chasing a movie star or famous person saying, give me your signature? No, it's always, can I have your autograph? Because the autograph is from the live living man. So with the copy claim is used because anything you copyright claim is protected from being used against you unless you introduce it as evidence. And that's the thing too. So if you were to try to put it in as evidence, then it becomes public information at that point. So then they would have the authority to go ahead and use your name on whatever the hell they wanted. So, you know, rules to the game. This shit is tricky. It is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these clowns. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.